What if I told you that some of the greatest mysteries in human history still don't have real answers? Who built the pyramids? How was Stonehenge constructed? How did ancient people create the massive Nazca lines without ever seeing them from the sky? And those gigantic Moai statues on Easter Island, were they really built by civilizations thousands of years ago using primitive tools alone? Some of these things have scientific explanations. Some have partial explanations. And some, science still can't fully explain. And that's exactly why people never stop talking about UFOs, aliens, and extraterrestrial life. Because humanity has always been obsessed with one question: are we really alone in the universe? And behind that question lies some of the biggest mysteries in history. The lost city of Atlantis. The dark side of the moon. The famous WOW signal. The Pentagon's UFO files. And hundreds of unexplained sightings reported all around the world. All of it creates one giant web of mystery. And in today's video, we're going deep into it. Do aliens actually exist? Are UFOs real? Or is all of this just a mix of conspiracy theories, political games, and human imagination? Let's find out. Now let's start with something interesting. Earlier this year, former US President Barack Obama said during an interview, "There are objects in the sky that we don't fully understand." Now, he never directly said aliens are real. What he meant was that there are aerial phenomena we still can't fully explain scientifically. But the internet being the internet, within hours people were saying, Obama just confirmed aliens exist. Humanity's obsession with UFOs is nothing new. For over a century, people have been fascinated by the idea. One of the first major UFO sightings in modern history happened in 1947, the famous flying saucer incident. A businessman named Kenneth Arnold was flying near Mount Rainier in Washington when he spotted 9 strange objects moving at incredible speed. He described them as moving like a saucer skipping across water. A local newspaper picked up the story and coined the term flying saucer. And just like that, UFO culture was born. But the biggest UFO event of all time happened later that same year. Roswell. In Roswell, New Mexico, something crashed in the desert. At first, the military released a statement saying they had recovered a flying disc. But hours later, they completely changed the story and claimed it was just a weather balloon. And right there, conspiracy theories exploded. People immediately asked, if it was only a weather balloon, why was the military involved? What were they trying to hide? Then things got even stranger. During the 1950s, unusual metallic debris started falling from the sky in New Mexico, and the military rushed to recover it every time. Years later, the US government finally admitted those incidents were connected to Project Mogul, a classified operation designed to detect Soviet nuclear tests during the Cold War. This is where things get important. After World War II, America was extremely paranoid. The Soviet Union was rapidly advancing technologically, and the fear of a surprise attack was very real. So whenever ordinary people saw something unusual in the sky, they thought, aliens. And whenever the government saw something unusual, they thought Soviet technology. That's why in 1948 the US Air Force launched Project Sign, an official investigation into UFO reports. Later it became Project Grudge. And finally, in 1952, it evolved into the most famous UFO investigation ever, Project Blue Book. From 1952 to 1969, Project Blue Book analyzed more than 12,000 UFO reports. And here's the interesting part, they couldn't explain all of them. Many sightings were identified as weather balloons, aircraft, natural atmospheric phenomena, or secret military technology. but hundreds of cases remained officially unidentified. And those unidentified cases are what fueled public fascination for decades. In the summer of 1952, radar systems across America suddenly started detecting strange signals. People reported seeing mysterious lights in the sky. The CIA became involved. A scientific team led by physicist H.P. Robertson was assembled to investigate the phenomenon. The team managed to explain most of the incidents scientifically. But some information remained classified. And once again, public suspicion grew even stronger. Then came Area 51. Today, it's probably the most famous secret military base in the world. But in reality, Area 51 was created to test advanced spy aircraft designed to counter the Soviet Union. This is where aircraft like the State Route 71 Blackbird were tested. Now imagine seeing a jet in the 1960s flying faster than 2,000 miles per hour with technology nobody had ever seen before. Of course, civilians thought, that can't be from Earth. So many UFO sightings may actually have been secret military projects. But the story doesn't end there. Because some events still leave even scientists questioning things. On August 15, 1977, Ohio State University's Big Ear radio telescope detected an extremely unusual signal from space. The signal lasted for 72 seconds. And it was so strange that astronomer Jerry Emmons circled the data printout and wrote one word next to it: wow. That's where the name WOW signal came from. The signal appeared near the 1420 MHz frequency, a frequency closely associated with hydrogen. And since hydrogen is the most abundant element in the universe, many scientists believe it would be the logical frequency for an intelligent civilization to use for communication. But there was one massive problem. The signal was never detected again. It appeared once, and vanished forever. And this leads us to one of the most famous scientific questions ever asked, the Fermi Paradox. Physicist Enrico Fermi asked a very simple question: where is everybody? If the universe is so unimaginably massive, with trillions of stars and potentially billions of Earth-like planets, then where are all the alien civilizations? Why haven't we found any evidence? There are three major theories that attempt to answer that question. The first is called the Great Filter. This theory suggests that advanced civilizations eventually destroyed themselves through war, environmental collapse, artificial intelligence, or some other catastrophe. Meaning alien civilizations may have existed, but died long before we arrived. The second is the dark forest theory. According to this idea, the universe is like a dark forest filled with hunters. Every civilization stays silent because nobody knows whether another civilization is friendly or hostile. So everyone hides. Nobody wants to reveal their location. And then there's the third theory, the rare earth hypothesis. Honestly, this one is probably the most depressing. It suggests that intelligent life is unbelievably rare. That Earth may be an anomaly. Meaning humanity could actually be completely alone in the universe. Now at this point, it may sound like most UFO stories are just misunderstandings and conspiracy theories. But then came the Pentagon Files. Earlier this year, under pressure from Donald Trump's administration, the Pentagon released several classified UFO-related documents. And some of the details were extremely interesting. Especially the reports from pilots and astronauts. One report described Pan American Airlines pilots seeing a massive golden cylindrical object near New York. Another involved Gemini 7 astronaut Jim Lovell, who famously reported, "We have a bogey." He claimed they were observing a strange object while orbiting Earth. And then there are the Pentagon videos many of you have probably already seen. Objects moving at impossible speeds, Sudden direction changes. No visible propulsion system. Now the big question is, can all of this really be explained? Or are there things we simply don't understand yet? And honestly, this is where the conversation becomes terrifying. Because if an advanced extraterrestrial civilization truly exists, how far ahead are they? Thousands of years? Millions? And if they really have been observing us, what do they want? Friendship? Research? Control? The truth is, nobody knows. And we probably won't know anytime soon. Because the universe is unbelievably huge. Maybe one day we'll finally get the answer. Maybe we won't. But one question will never disappear. Are we truly alone? Or is something out there, looking back at us? A mix of history, science, mystery, and conspiracy theories all combined into one story. Let me know in the comments what you thought about it. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe and leave a like. It really helps the channel. So stay tuned until my next upload. Goodbye.